Hello and welcome. Today I'm coming on here to share a interesting project that I have started and I want to kind of record my journey. And this project is Backrooms inspired and I just think it's a really cool thing that I want to share, and I'm not completely finished with the project yet, and it's going to be fully available once it's completed. So I want to come on here and share my progress and what I've done so far, and I'm going to talk about my steps in finishing this project and what happens after I complete it. And I'll let you know when you'll be able to purchase this project, because you'll be able to download it for yourself and modify the assets yourself. And it's going to be this completely open project for others to use. And I'm just going to talk about what that will entail in this video and my progress and what I've been able to do so far. And obviously, in the beginning, I started out with blocking out the shape of what this project is and began building it from there. And to get into what this project is and why it's Backrooms inspired, where that inspiration is coming from, and where the inspiration for the actual project itself came from. So I had this concept of this open, infinite desert with like this tall, crazy tower in the very center. And at first I wanted it to be a game, but it I didn't think I could pull the concept off enough. I couldn't expand it enough at the time to a full game, to the scope of the full thing. And I couldn't really attach an additional story to the setting itself. But after the Backrooms movie came out, and after I got a little bit more acquainted with that franchise, and now that I understand that it's kind of an open source franchise, anyone can kind of add their own lore to the whole thing. I really thought that this would be a very cool marriage between my own idea and the Backrooms, and it seems to actually be going pretty well, because I started with the tower, and my concept was that the tower was going to be 100 floors, and I also experimented with 1,000 floors, and I'll get to that later. But the original concept was a 100-floor tower within the middle of a giant desert, and I thought maybe adding on this Backrooms lore to this concept might be able to revive it, and maybe I could kind of fill out what's missing in this kind of simple idea. My progress so far, I have come up with something that I think has become an interesting addition to the entire Backrooms lore, because I tried not to change anything that's originally there. I've tried not to replace anything. I've tried not to take the original lore and replace or change or retcon anything. What I've tried to do is just add on to it, so that there's an addition to this, so that I'm not harming any of the original lore. And what I think I've done here is very cool. So the tower itself is going to have an elevator at the very center, where the lobby will be at the first floor. And this elevator is not going to go up and down like a normal elevator. It's going to go everywhere. It's basically going to be like a teleportation elevator instead of a traditional elevator. And you'll be able to interact with it and go to the button panel and go to each floor. But what I've done with the Backrooms to inject it into this tower is that each floor is actually a level of the Backrooms that you can go to. Yes, at every single level there is an official level 0 to level 100 documentation for the Backrooms. So what I thought is having these 100 floors be access to the 100 levels. Now I'm not going to build every single level, because some of them are like cities and like suburb neighborhoods, and it's a little too much. What I'm going to do instead, because this project is going to be open source and available to others for others to use, I'm trying to think of ways to integrate both the lore of the Backrooms while also making this a palatable, downloadable project that is something that I can build within a good time frame, and someone else can explore and actually get a good amount of content out of it. So instead of doing every single accurate level to the rooms, I'm going to either do an inspiration of that room, or I'm just going to do like another variations of the Backrooms. And I think that's just going to be a good way to stay efficient with the assets that I have and just keep building on that, and then to stay true to the lore of the Backrooms. Whatever levels that I can turn into what would be that actual level for the Backrooms, I'll do. Like, there's one level that is just a simple grass field. I mean, that's easy. I could just do a grass field with like a foggy sky, stuff like that. And I'm gonna just share my journey with this. I'm every day, every time I work on a new level for the Backrooms, I'm going to kind of share that and kind of build onto that. And once I reach the 100 levels and I have a solid looking level that I can explore in every single level, then it'll be completed, and I can put it onto a site that you can then download it from. And that site will be Fab. Fab is like this Unreal Engine store where you can buy environments, 3D scanned assets, 2D assets, 3D assets, sound assets, art assets, all sort of 3D content for an artist who is likely working on either a movie or a video game. And Fab has actually proven in the past for me to be profitable. So that's where I'm going to put this one, because this one is going to be built on Unreal Engine. Yes, it's going to be built in this engine that already has a lot of out of the box things. Because I have such a giant library of my past work, I'm going to just build on that and conglomerate that into this project. And I think this is going to be such a cool thing, especially if I have people following me with this project as I go and build each Backrooms level from my own hand and from scratch, and then it's going to be available to you once it's done. I think this is going to be a cool journey. The Backrooms has definitely been an inspiration for me since I've seen the movie. I didn't know too much about it before, but now that I've really looked into it, I see how expansive it is. So I'm really excited to kind of throw my own ideas into this whole universe, this whole idea, this concept that everyone else seems to kind of find a lot of inspiration and interest from as well. So, and this whole video, I have just been showing my progress here and where I've gotten. And so far I've gotten to the tower and the desert and the lobby areas, which is the main areas you'll see. And I have gotten the first kind of scrap level of the Backrooms set up, and the next video that is going to talk about the progress is going to be where I start building these 100 levels from level 0 to a level 100. And I haven't even finished parts of what I'm planning to do, so we're just going to kind of go off the fly and go into the lore, see what's there, and then I'm going to take that inspiration and build it off of what I have available. And I think it's going to be really cool by the end, because I'm a 3D artist. I've been doing it for many years. I've been working Unreal Engine and Blender for many years, so I feel like combining these skills with this cool idea that I'd never turned into a game, and then taking the Backrooms lore and the popularity of it is all the perfect storm for me to get this project done as quickly as possible. And hopefully I will have people at the end kind of following me and excited to actually play and see what I've got at the end. So, because I'm not going to show everything. I'm only going to show the parts of the levels that I built and maybe a few of the headaches that I've run into, because trust me, there's a lot. Because when you work with Unreal Engine, it's some shit sometimes. You just don't know what the hell it's doing. And you're like, come on. But when you know what it's doing and when it knows what it's doing, it's great and you get some really good results like I already have. So if you want to keep following me on this, and if you want to see me start with the level 0, I will start that very soon. And there's going to be just a lot of progress going on with this project, because I make progress very quickly in Unreal Engine. When I'm working on 3D models, when I'm working on texturing, when I'm adding stuff in Unreal, I go quick. I'm trying to make progress. I'm trying to get results, when I'm working in Unreal. So I think we're going to get this done pretty quickly. I'm trying to give this no more than 2 months. I want to finish this within that time frame, because I think I'm making a lot of progress very quickly, and I think that it's going to be very interesting for people to see, especially if I do it quickly while the Backrooms is still fresh in people's minds and it's still kind of in the ecosphere. So yeah, I think that's all. Again, if you really want to see what I've done in the past to see how I'm going to prove myself with creating this project, you can go and see my past videos and see that the games that I've made in the past with Unreal Engine and the projects I've completed in the past. So I'm excited to see where this goes, and thank you for following me on there.